Georgie.
Hi, how are you? Finally, I get to be on set.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Well, yeah.
But we've sort of met-ish.
Yeah.
We first met on your birthday.
Yeah.
Which I came as boys +1, very much uninvited.
Wait. Yeah.
But still
Okay.
ended up there.
Yeah.
But it was huge. How do you know all those people?
Well, some people called like a few minutes to the birthday and said, "I'm coming in +3." Not even asking. It's just we're on our way and we're coming with +3. But I mean, some are really good friends. Some are from growing up. So it was just a mix. Most people that attend my birthday always say it feels like a reunion. They don't see each other for a whole year and then they meet on that day. Yeah. So that's what happens every year. And then of course you make 1 or 2 friends as the year progresses. So next year we'll probably have 2 more friends.
It's bigger and
just 2 more friends. Yeah.
just 2 more friends.
Well, you, with your own +1.
No, so next year I'm invited. That's what I'm hearing. Period. Because I mean, who throws a party like Georgie?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thanks.
So now, in the course of doing A Letter to My Younger Self, we're now in our 2nd season. I've gotten to interview very many different people, like people who I'm really close to, like Foy, or people who I've just brushed a few times with, like Eli, and now you, who we're essentially just meeting. And my favorite thing about reading the letters is that I end up learning so much about the people. And one thing I learned about you is that you like Kit Kat. So we got you something.
You know what? Let me tell you, can I write another letter to myself? I have a few other things I like,
yeah, we got you a few of these for you to enjoy.
You know what? And it's different flavors as well. Oh, perfect. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope I'm not sharing this with anyone on the set. No. Thank you so much.
No, they're yours to keep.
Yeah.
No, I just want to find out, what's the story behind buying yourself the Kit Kat? Is it like a celebratory thing?
I think, so of course, there was mint choc and fudge when we were growing up. And then Kit Kat for me is like it's like the connector between being a child and being an adult. And like being able to just buy it. It's the one thing that whenever I think about it, it's like the one thing that once my family or my mom had a little bit of money, she was able to buy, because fudge was 10 shillings, I think 15, and mint choc as well. But Kit Kat was the one that was just a bit more expensive. So it's just a kiddish thing where it's the connector between when there was just a bit more money. And, you know, I remember my mom like constantly just trying to be there for us. And whenever there was something nice, she would just always try to splurge on us, however small. So I love Kit Kat.
My version of that is KFC as well, because I love fried chicken. So if you ever find me somewhere eating KFC, no, I got a paycheck. Like it's become a thing where every time I get a paycheck now, we eat KFC just for the culture.
Love it.
Yeah, and another thing that I learned is that you don't like people who talk during movies.
During movies or when you're out having fun? Out
having fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to have...
Let me give you one example, maybe because it sounds like, oh, yeah. Let's say, for example, you've had a crazy, okay, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Most of the time, since now we're also, I don't want to say old, but we're not young anymore. So like you want to go out on a Wednesday or not necessarily a Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday is the day when everyone has come from work or they've come from gigs or for what. And wherever you go anyway, you'll find people that have come from work, but you ideally just want to relax. That's the time everyone has an idea for a podcast, an idea for an interview you should do, a business idea, business proposal. You're like, what time am I going to hear the DJ? You know, at what point, you know? So I think that, and what did I say? Oh yeah, doing movies, people will ask, did you see that? Yes, we're all looking. We're all looking in front, you know. Yeah, those two. I mean, it's not a pet peeve or nothing that will like ruin a first date, but it's definitely one of those where you're like,
don't do it.
Yeah, we have another talker in the building. Yeah.
But I love it. Divide sherehe time with work time.
Thank you. Yeah, we can talk in the morning. Exactly.
I definitely agree. So before we get into it, we can play a quick round of 2 truths, 1 lie.
Okay.
Would you like to go first, or do I go first?
Okay. Wait, I say my 2 truths, 1 lie?
Yes.
And then you guess which one it is?
Yes.
Okay. I go first?
Yes, you can go first.
Okay. I play 8 sports.
Mm-hmm.
I speak 6 languages.
Uh-huh.
And I am a middle child. Ooh, that's one nice. I tried to stuff that was not in the letter.
I'd say the lie is that you're a middle child. Yeah.
Wow. No, it's not.
Really?
Yeah. I look like a last born? 5.
Well, close enough. I was actually going to say you look like a firstborn.
Really?
Yeah.
So responsible, you mean?
Yeah.
We can even end the podcast. We can even end it there. Yeah.
Mic drop.
No, middle child. 5 languages.
What are the 5?
English, a little 1% of French, just in case French speakers watch this. Kinyarwanda, Kikuyu, Kiswahili.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Say something in French.
Je m'appelle Georgie.
Okay. At least I know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the one thing everyone knows.
Okay. It's your turn. Let me see
turn.
how good.
I got an A in physics.
Okay.
I have veneers. I broke my hand playing tennis when I was 7.
That's oddly specific. Let's do a.
That's cheating.
Okay. What was the first one? C.
I got an A in physics.
Okay. We've hung out and I know we played a round of games. I'm trying to see whether there was anything physics. And yes. I think you got an A in math. What? You have no faith in yourself. I think that's the lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
I got an A in math and physics and...
Hey, okay. So it's the hand breaking?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh.
I've never broken anything.
Oh, touch wood. Yeah, nice.
Truly.
Yeah, if you played 8 sports, you probably would.
Yeah. What have you broken?
Nothing, actually. Aki, touch wood. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we can now get into it. I think I can start by reading your letter.
Okay. Dear 26-year-old Georgie, here you are. The transition is done. You can stop running away from your day-to-day struggles and start focusing. You've just started making money. You finally settled into CNBC. Rwanda has embraced you the last 2 years and put you through the ringer professionally. But here you are. Your visa being revoked a year back, your HR not acknowledging that what you do could only be done by you, your inability to fathom returning home as a failure are behind you. I know mom was keen on you going back and starting from scratch if all else failed, but here you are. You got past that bump. No, wait, you tore through that wall. She's so proud of you now. You'll lose touch with a lot of friends on this journey. You will regain them in 4, maybe 5 years. A lot of people will want to be associated with you. Others will genuinely mean well for you, but you'll slowly realize a lot of things are beyond your control, and that includes how human beings act and feel. So you'll focus on yourself, stay kind, and focus on you, mom, Lenny, Mimo, and dad. Love will come and go, and you'll experience it in different forms. People will walk in that you'd never envisioned, and you'll want to keep and nurture them into your life as delicately and deliberately as possible. But you'll also soon enough realize that just like Sabbath, that's my dog, back in Kichukiro in Rwanda, sometimes all you'll ever have with them is the memories. Everything else probably wasn't meant to last past a certain time, and you'll be okay with that. You'll grieve and cry to Thames music about it, but you'll be okay. 33 will be a proper turning point for you. Many won't understand why you have a pendant with the number or why you vibrate differently, but you will. And you'll be unstoppable once you believe it deep down. Huge titles won't intimidate you. Dreams won't scare you. Age won't define you. Everything will feel so attainable, and your soul will be at peace. Thank you for staying the course and believing. We almost got lost in that valley of doubt. We almost got lost. 32 was dark, but we really stayed the course and shone through, even if life handed us the flimsiest of candles. Reminder, stay grounded, treat everyone the same, without prejudice or preference, aside from those who talk during movies. And continue to treat yourself to Kit Kat, because you damn well deserve it, you rock star. P.S. You still will not go paragliding or skydiving, so let that one go. Signed, 34-year-old Georgie.
Your dog is called Sabbath.
Sabbath, yeah. Sabbath was the name of my dog. Sabbath and Nuggets. I got Nugget because of a lady I dated back then, a very close friend of mine now. Yeah, Sabbath.
An interesting name.
Sabbath was courtesy of, there was a series called The Newsroom. Olivia Munn, maybe you might have heard of the series. Olivia Munn played a news producer called Sloane Sabbath. Best character I've ever seen on TV. So I was like, I love her already. Yeah. Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
Comme si, comme ça.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, so your letter is based around a period when you were in Rwanda a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you can let us know where you're from and how you ended up working in Rwanda.
Absolutely. Born in Mombasa, then came to Nairobi. Left Nairobi, lived in Nairobi for quite a while, grew up here, at least my teenage years. And then right after I graduated in 2011, in 2012 now I went to Rwanda. That's when my professional life started. A lot of it was not the best the first 2 years, but then I picked up slowly. I think that's what I was talking about now. Now when CNBC started, when CNBC came, that's around 2014. That's when life did a full 180. 180 is like this. 360, you get back to the same.
Yeah.
No, 360 you get back to the same. So it's 180.
So it's 180.
Okay, yeah. 180, and then things just started to grow from there. Yeah.
So how old were you when you went to Rwanda?
That's 2012, 10 years ago. So that's 24.
24. And then when you started working for CNBC?
26.
26.
That's why the letter is 26.
26-year-old Georgie. And what struggles would you say that you're going through your day-to-day as a 26-year-old at that time?
I think I was, when we were here, we used to do, so I had just finished doing actuarial science. So ideally, the idea when I started the course at JKUAT was that I would finish, do my professional papers or do my master's, and then employers would just be
flooding.
Where is he? Where is Georgie? Where is Georgie, the one that finished? That's the one we want. You know, the one that plays 8 sports. That one. That didn't happen immediately. Well, at least maybe I wasn't looking in the right direction. But even the people that we graduated same year, only about 3 of them continued with actuarial science. So around that time, I think I felt, so when we were here, we started even doing outfit events where we curated stuff. I had a fashion company as well, not a fashion company, not like a big brand, but just something that allowed people to import clothes and forward. And then so when we left, I personally felt like there was a bit of a name that we had built. So it wasn't that you were leaving here a failure to go and try something new, but it was just to go and see what else was out there. When we reached the other side, now after everything started failing, the idea was I can't come back to Kenya a failure. So I refused to come back. And my mom kept telling me, what are you doing there? Like we had no money, the salary wasn't coming in. At some point we were sleeping on the floor. At some point the house that they had gotten for us, the company that we worked for, the house got locked. You know, just some shady stuff. And
so at that point you were still doing the clothes thing?
No, we stopped everything and went to pursue like a whole different life in Rwanda. And the whole time, my mom even started paying for me school to just finish my master's in Kigali, because she was like, okay, fine, you refused to come. All right, might as well be doing something while you're there, and then maybe 1,000 bob or whatever every couple of days to just sustain you. But it was a stretch. And then we now got absorbed into a radio, something that we'd never done before. Absorbed into a radio. The radio now transitioned into TV, local TV, and then now CNBC came. But those 2 years between 2014 and 2016, 2012 and 2014, it was such a weird time, such a dark time, where nothing, it felt like we were back in uni or second year or right after uni, where you're just blank. You don't know what's happening. And now you're a full adult. So I think that was a part of what the struggles were.
Yeah.
Yeah, complete limbo in life. Yeah.
So what happened with the visa?
So the visa story is super interesting because actually looking back at it, it was a scary time then, but now you're just like, haha.
You can laugh about it now.
Yeah. So I got to Rwanda in 2012. So the way the systems work within the region is that you're able to leave every 3 months and you don't need a visa, right? Because we're in EAC.
Yeah.
You're able to, whatever country, you can just go, stay 3 months, whatever, leave. But what that doesn't allow you to do is work. But how are you going to survive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for a lot of people, and it's like giving secrets, but I mean, immigration already knows. A lot of people just go, they say they're consultants or something, and then they do some work, get paid some money, and then they leave after 3 months. They leave maybe for a day, or they go to a neighboring country and then come back after a day, you know?
Yeah.
That was always the norm. So did that 2012, 2013. 2014 when so now the TV that we worked for, which was TV10, a local TV in Rwanda, well established. After a while it became well established because it was the first private TV. The HR, because we wanted to get official documents, I remember going to the HR and saying, you know, like petitioning to get the official, like an official visa, work permit, whatever. And he said, there's absolutely no way we can justify that because I personally feel like whatever you do, anyone can do. So why would we give you a work visa for this particular position? And it was being a news anchor. I was in my feelings, you know, but you're like, oh, okay. I mean, we auditioned for the role, you know, like, and we were picked for it. It was really hurtful what he said, but as the universe would have it, when CNBC happened, I remember one of our first assignments, we were sent to Zambia for the national carrier was doing its maiden flight there. And coming back to Rwanda, we were stopped at the immigration. And the immigration said, hey, we really know you've been going in and out. I mean, you have to pay a fine or like you have to do it right, you know? So passport was confiscated.
Whoa.
It was taken to the immigration. If you want, you were supposed to clear the fines, which were about $500,000 or something. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that was maybe about 70,000 shillings back then. Back then, it's not even that long ago. But yeah, so now I'm with CNBC and I call my HR crying, like basically saying, oh, you know, they confiscated my passport. They said, they just told me, relax, relax. How much is it? All right. So, okay, so when will they give it to? They said on Monday. They said on Monday, relax. What you're going to do, go to the accounts, tell them, this is the amount of, we'll know how to handle it. You just go pay, then let them, ask them what the procedures are or what. We'll make sure before. I got a visa in 3 weeks. As funny as life would have it, CNBC was doing their official opening of their studio and the regional headquarters in Kigali. I was among the anchors, among actually the main anchors, senior presenter and producer, but we had a main event where we invited the president of Rwanda to come and like proper stakeholders. And among the people that we invited was my former HR. So he's there seeing me introduce his president. He can't even move from his chair until you tell him, hey, don't move. You know, so life vindicates you in its own ways. And I feel like I didn't even need to hold any beef or any grudge with him. Life just happened organically as it was. And I feel like what he did as well was very necessary for the path that life took me on. Yeah.
But what do you feel like that did to you, like emotionally and mentally at that time? Did it affect you?
Yeah, I think it really touched on my imposter syndrome as well, because how can you tell someone that what they do, anyone else can do?
Yeah.
You know, like when you've dedicated your life to your craft, dedicated so many hours to perfect your craft and perfect who you are. And a lot of people even say like looking into a camera and speaking is super easy. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not that easy, you know. And then if you make it look as easy and someone says that whatever you do is very normal to everyone, it really rubs you off a different way.
Yeah.
So that for me was a real blow at my esteem and what I tried to do and what I tried to do at the time, and even trying to like make history with, you know, like being among the first people to do something in a different country. So it really tagged on those strings. But look at us now.
Yeah, literally.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, but then see right now, you're at a point where you can recognize, I mean, this person in HR really looked at me and didn't realize, I mean, I'm the only one who can do what I'm doing. Like, I'm the source. You can take me out of it, but at the end of the day, without me here, you know, it's not going to happen. So how did you get to that point where you can, you know, you're so self-aware, where you know your worth, like, you know, this is what I'm bringing to the table, and so you're not going to undercut me?
Yeah, I think that never stops. That journey never stops. So the thing about most people is we always, me included, we always feel like realizing your value is a destination. Like you, okay, I realize, okay, so this is my value, now let's go. But the essence of life is, as you grow and as you grow in your career, even you as you grow in your craft, the rooms, you wanted to be invited to the table, but the table either gets bigger and bigger, or the room where the table is a different room. You know, like the table downstairs and the table in the presidential suite is completely different tables.
Yeah.
So when you get to another table, you now have to acclimatize and better yourself maybe a bit more, do a bit more work, and, you know, like show a bit more value, although your life is not constantly about showing value. Some people also have to see it. But I think it's really taught me that you just put in the work, be as consistent as possible, and you can be promised that someone is always watching. Just very clear about what this person can bring to the table. Yeah, I think that's what that particularly brought out. Yeah.
How would you say 26-year-old Georgie described failure at that time?
Man, 26-year-old Georgie was very emotionally attached to accomplishments. Everything was either it works or it doesn't, you know, and if it doesn't, then I mull over it for maybe 2-3 months, you know, wonder why didn't it work, blah, 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 blah. But me now, like recognizing how younger me used to handle things, I realized there's either an alternative, or you can easily just drop it and move on to something else. One very crucial thing that applies to life, and I found out in journalism, most of the time when you're discussing stories that you're going to bring to the table, stories you're going to cover for the week and what, you come to the editorial table every morning and you have a story idea that you feel is brilliant. You say you saw this person in hospital, you feel like they've been treating needles and syringes a certain way, and you want to do a whole story about, you know, hygiene in the healthcare industry and what. And in your mind, it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
You come, you explain it for 10 minutes at the editorial table, and then your editor says, nah, leave that story, move. And you've been planning it for 2 weeks, you know? What journalism taught me is that you need to really separate emotions from some very practical things that we're trying to do in life, and that will take you so far. For those that need you to attach emotions and radicalism and what, do that. But not everything, every decision you make or needs your emotions. Some just need tactic and rationale, and you will go so far. Yeah.
And how would you say, actually, even before I get into that, you were so scared of going back home, because then it would mean you were a failure.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, your mom was being really supportive.
Exactly.
She was like, come back home, you can start from scratch.
Yeah, that's true.
So why was that option of going back home so scary?
I think also, it also has to do with her, because she's the one who's basically taught us, you have to just try. By the time, I think it's something properly innate. By the time you say, I've tried my best, I'm done. You know, I don't think those are traits of I don't think those are personal traits as well. Giving up is not one of them. like saying, okay, I did my best. Nah. I always try to find a solution. Maybe this could work. Maybe this could work. Or, you know, what are the alternatives? Who can I partner with? To make something work. So really, failure at that point was not an option. I was also, I think selfishly, I really just wanted to see what would happen if I just ate matumbo 2 more months. You know what I mean? Not to say matumbo is, but you know, just 2 more months. We really ate matumbo. I'm not gonna lie. There's a day we finally got some money and bought meat. Yeah. And then I was the one designated chef, and I was on my phone, and the meat burnt. I will never forget. I hope my housemates at the time watched this. They were so mad at me. Oh my God. The one time we had meat in like 3 months and I burnt it.
Was it like non-recoverable?
Yeah, like 4 pieces, and we were in a 5-bedroom house. You know, yeah. So I think, back to your point, I feel like failure is not a trait that I think, just accepting failure, I don't think it's in me now. Yeah. No.
So would you say that that's still the relationship you have with failure right now? Like at 34, do you feel like it's just something so terrible?
No. And now you see the thing with age, or like going through a series of failures, is that you have an idea of to what extent it will fail. So it's not really about whether it will fail or not, but to what extent. You might have maybe an idea to set up a business, like maybe, let me say like an aviation company. You start with logistics, you start with the personnel, you start with knowing the locations or whatever, and then you end up with, okay, but who's going to buy the plane? You know, something like that. But by the time you reach there, you already have this whole chain that you've mapped out and you can use it for something else. So I think it's just reducing the extent of failure now. You're not to say, because I still have huge ambitions and I'm still working on a few. And I know there are a lot of failures that are going to come along the way, but I'm ready. You just need to protect yourself, have enough financial independence or financial cushion just in case, you know, anything goes wrong, and just making sure that you don't go, even if you're going all in, you're very tactical about it. Yeah, that's my relationship with failure now.
Yeah. So your letter, you talk about the friends who you sort of grew apart from for a couple of years. Would you say it was because of the struggles in Rwanda, or was something different?
Not really. I think that's just the general rule of life. Even friends that you've met, it's friends that you even met maybe even last year, and then you had a great time. Met again, and then you decided, okay, let's go to Watamu for a trip, and then you said, okay, let's keep in touch, and then you realize there's really nothing that's keeping us bonded. You know, like it's basically either having fun, or when we meet randomly with friends and whatever, but there's nothing that really keeps us bonded. And most of the time, naturally, organically, people that are that you don't synergize with, they just drift apart. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you like them any less. It doesn't mean that you don't value their time any less or who they are as a person, but you just gravitate away from them. Yeah, and that has been the nature of things. And then you meet new people, or you reconnect with people that you were friends with 10, 15 years ago, and you become the best of friends. So it's just, I think it's just organic.
So how was it reconnecting back with them like 4 or 5 years later? Yeah,
that's so in the letter now, I say some you reconnect with, some will come in as a different kind of friendship. So I think a lot of people that we meet now, so let me give perspective, we're super close with some friends from primary school, Thika Road Christian School, and super close with some friends from high school. What that means is, I think people have seen you back then and seen you now, and you've seen each other, and it's so exciting reconciling that 15, 20 years ago, this kid had no idea who they'd be in future. And look at them, they're here, and then within our circle of friends, either in primary school or high school, we can't show any, you know, like pride or kiburi or whatever. Like we're like kids, because someone's like, you, I saw you when you had a Kisogo. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you can't come sit? So we are always like the most humble when we're around people from primary school. And people are doing really big things out here, and whoever is not doing whatever, doesn't matter. We're just super, super grounded whenever we're together. So I think it's always nice to just see those dynamics of like people that, you know, from a long time ago, just coming together and remembering what you know, how dreamless we were. Yeah, I think that's the kind of friendships, those are the kind of friendships we've built. Yeah, but this age of social media, almost everyone is your friend. you know what I mean? Yeah. Almost everyone either feels entitled to your life in a certain way, or they feel like they know you, or you feel like you know them. Even when you meet them, you're like, oh, Bosha, I know you, I know you, I know, I saw you posing with the can.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you also talked a bit about how there are some people who will come who they may not really be that genuine, but they just want to be associated with you.
Yeah.
What made you feel like that?
So 2 things. One, looking for a manager, and 2, going on dates. Let me start on the going on dates. See, even he raised his face. Okay, so I haven't spoken about this in public platforms because it's neither here nor there. But so recently single, and even when I was single in the past, you would go on dates and slowly realize that out of maybe like 2 or 3 people that you go on dates with, maybe one just wants to hang out with you because of the possibility that they'll meet someone else with you. So like they see, okay, we'll meet a Rotimi, or we'll meet Wabosha, or we'll meet Sarah, you know, somewhere within those parties we'll meet one of those people, and they're really fascinated by them. And so you hear them constantly saying, you know, things like, oh yeah, I would love to go out, or what. And you're like, okay. And before, I didn't know it, like a few, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, I didn't pay much attention to it. I just saw it as, oh, they really want to hang out with my friends. They must really be interested in my circle of friends and want to get to know them more. Oh, happy. They just wanted to be part of the circle, you know? And so slowly, I also realize that that's what some friends want. And you also create the space for people to just mingle and have a good time, like the birthday, where whoever feels like they want to meet a few people, amazing people, and, you know, connect and network and do stuff long term, they can always meet friends at the birthday, because it's always a showcase of love to each other.
Yeah.
So that was one. But you also find people that are genuine, that really, I had a friend whom we recently met, and we went to the movies. And we were supposed to watch a movie, but we went on a Wednesday, I think, and the movie hadn't come out yet. The movie was supposed to come on Thursday. So
is it Woman King?
Thank you. So it was Woman King, and then so we're speaking to the teller, and we're saying, oh, okay, so what other movie would you recommend? Because, you know, we've missed this one. And then the friend I was with, she goes, no, don't worry, let's go somewhere and talk. I was like, oh, love it. You know, like a movie you wouldn't even talk for 2 hours, and then after you're done, you know, everyone just goes home, and you probably never talk again for a few more days, stuff like that. So there's that, where you can really assess what the genuine friendships are, or genuine intentions. Manager, same thing. Sometimes, even some of the people that we've spoken about, you know, talent management and managing maybe me or a few friends, it's normally the same, where they want to be associated, not necessarily for anything else, but just to say, you know, like, oh yeah, this person, and you know, something like that. And sometimes it's unfair, because you have genuine expectations from the person, and they've presented it in a certain way, and then it's not always the case. So I think those two now have really mapped out what friendships are. I also feel like I could be a better friend. Communication has really sucked for a lot of friends. Of course, life you get really caught up with a lot of things, but I'm definitely working on that. Yeah, so that no one comes on a podcast and says, you know, Josie as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I totally understand. I also feel like in terms of friendships, I need to work on my communication. I'm that friend who just call, and also I still complain about people who call. So it's like, where do we find you?
For me, it's people who send messages on Instagram.
Because they get lost?
Yeah, or like an urgent message on Instagram, like, hey, we're at this place where I say, wow, on Instagram,
at what
really?
point was I supposed to see this?
You know, you see it maybe after 2 hours, 3 hours anyway. Yeah.
But then now, in what ways do you sort of either protect yourself or how have you learned to like tell the difference between the genuine people and the people who you're like,
Yeah, I keep, so okay, so I think it's not even conscious, but subconsciously, life has made everyone go into tiers. So like an immediate circle, the extended circle, and then a really wider circle. And you have zero expectations from anyone. I have zero expectations of my friends, nothing, zero. That way, anything anyone does with me, for me, or to me,
great.
It's great, you know. And I feel like it's a weird way to go through friendships because, you know, like you should expect loyalty, expect. Well, I was seeing people on Twitter say, if they don't check up on you, I say, hey, you know, that's between you and your friends, you know. But most of your friends, if they're legitimate friends, they won't even need those tests. Oh, he didn't check up on me, she didn't check up on me. You will do it either way. Or you will notice something on social media, maybe how they type or the kind of posts they're putting up, and you'll reach out. You know, most of the time also people don't want to speak to you about all their problems, you know, or even anything that they might be going through that they feel a bit embarrassed about. So it's up to you also to pick out some of those social cues. So I think it's that putting it in different tiers that has helped. Of course, as you grow, the wider circle gets a lot bigger, but the inner circle gets smaller. way smaller. Yeah, so that has helped. I have my closest friends. One of my closest friends just got married, so he's the one I could easily just call and cry. You know, he could randomly call me when I'm at the movies and say, "Yo, I need you to pick up your phone now," and I will leave the movie or whatever, just go out and pick, because I know he wouldn't just tell me that for nothing, you know. So it's really just having very purposeful friendships.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Would you say that you come from a close-knit family? Guys, really close?
Yeah, I feel relatively, yes. So we have different pockets. So let's say like my dad and myself, my mom and my little brother, my mom and me, my sister and I. So we have pockets of
3 kids.
Yeah, 3 kids. So we have different levels of relationship between each other. Maybe not holistically. Everyone has their own dynamics of how the family has been, but yeah, we have very proper ties in between that still I feel keeps us very bonded.
But everyone sounds very supportive as well, including your mom.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is supportive. You have to be. I mean, we're all we have. We are 5. You know, we're just 5. And the way life has handed it to us, we at some point felt like we were just the 5 of us in the entire family. So we feel like we have only each other. So we have to.
So would you say that she'd have been proud of you regardless?
My mother?
Yeah, because you're like, I mean, mom is proud of me. And I feel like she'd have been proud of you regardless.
Well, there's some points where I've seen her, like in high school, in first form, that's 9th grade. When I was barely performing, she used to come to school every time because I used to perform really well in KCPE. I got 414 out of 500. Back then, that wasn't a small thing, and I was, you know, so. And then coming to high school and then acting like I don't even all of a sudden remember how to read. You know, she was super disappointed. She used to come to school almost every week. Sometimes even I wouldn't know she has come, but I would just hear the teacher say, "Oh, your mother was back here to tell us about your grades." So I feel at that time she was super disappointed. Even now, she told me, she made a joke the other day. She said, "What? Finally, at least finally, you even got on a stage with the president, you know, say that to a president. It is because I came to your school and spoke to that history teacher, you know, 15 times.
Spoken like a Kenyan mom.
Exactly.
Kama singekuja.
I know. Exactly, yeah. But yeah, so she's expressed her disappointment, but in a different way. Yeah.
Okay. I still think it's cute.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yours are really nice. Now, I normally have this saying, the work of the heart is to pump blood. Hizo zingine ni kiherehere.
Yeah, I know.
Now look at you with your letter, crying. Oh, that stems are where?
I know.
But
you leave the heart out of it.
But you were very cryptic about everything. You just talked about people coming in and out, and you know, some people are only meant to be there for a while. What was happening at that time?
No, this was now in between.
Between 26 and 34.
Yeah. That age, I don't know whether that age thing will hit me and I'll be one of those George Clooney guys who refuse, or Leonardo DiCaprio who refuse to leave the club until they see light because they're still young at heart.
Yeah.
No, I think relationship-wise, because I'm guessing that's the question that you're asking, right? I've had really nice relationships and I've had some that felt nice at the beginning, but after a while, you start to feel like, okay, I will die. I will die either mentally, you know, this is not it for me, or like you feel very right for each other, but it's the wrong time. So that's exactly what I mean. What I meant. Between then and I've had 3 relationships, and I think we're cordial. We're cordial, friendly with one. One we're super close. When I was in Rwanda, we dated when I was in Rwanda, and then one where it's still touch and go, you know, touch and go, but still everyone has, I hope it's the same, that they would say the same, but I feel like I served a part in their life and I feel like they served a part in my life. So there's no, by the time you end up, personally, by the time I end up like, you know, asking you out and whatever, and we decide to build a life, we date for a long time, and there's never, oh, it happened by chance or whatever. It was very deliberate from both of us. So there's no bad blood. There's no I hate you. Nah, I would never say that about anyone I've ever been with. Yeah.
So what relationship advice would you give your younger self?
I would say, okay, so I feel like I've had luck because most of the time, have you ever had people tell you, why did you guys break up? She was so pretty. I say, what? Everyone looks nice. If you think about, like, almost everyone is your ideal eye candy. But I've been lucky enough to have people that look good, but also have really nice hearts and ambitious and, you know, driven and very family oriented that we, you know, got to date. So I feel like relationship advice I would give is it goes beyond the surface. That's one. 2, you need to have, I personally feel, and I was given this advice by my family members and even the extended family, and they never really understood it until recently, but realize that there's some years where no one expects you to settle down and completely, like, there's some years where you should just enjoy your life. If you choose to have a serious relationship, a long-term relationship, do it, but it has to be of your own accord. But no one expects you to be thinking of marriage when you're 21. You know, it's not, in this day and age, you're just gonna, you're gonna wake up one day when you're 30 and be like, I've missed out the last 9 years of my life. I'm gonna act them out tonight. You know, so just allow yourself to really enjoy your life. Do it if you feel like you need to, but please just let life move according to its plan. Don't force anything in place. And then there's no such thing as, I feel like, what's your type? Your type 5 years ago and your type now, very different. So don't be rigid as well in who you think you like or your preference, both men and women. Whoever you feel like, you know, works for you. Let your soul do that for you. And then, I mean, it's a common quote, like, find someone that understands your soul, so you don't have to find, so you don't spend your whole life translating your soul or something like that. Yeah, so that's what I would say. And then also someone that saves money with you. You can spend it, but someone that saves money with you, that thinks that there's a future. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Actually, your second point reminds me of, there's somewhere that I saw the debate that it's not always you date to marry. Like sometimes, especially during your younger ages, you can just date.
Exactly.
Different people.
Exactly.
Vibes, have fun with it.
Yeah, sometimes the villain dies. Sometimes the villain is the best part of the story, like Thanos. Yeah.
Okay, so then you get to 32 and the Lord decides, my strongest soldier once again.
Chini.
Battle.
Yeah.
What happened at 32?
I think at that point is when I was almost succumbing to all this validation from social media, particularly, where everyone's saying, "Oh, you're doing great. You're at the BBC, blah blah blah. You're doing this. You're doing this. You're doing this." But inside you feel empty. Where it was coming from, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was struggling through my relationship. I was struggling with the relationship with some of my family members, my friends. Some we'd lost touch, some we were not. The workplace, we had a lot of back and forth because there were a lot of things you were not able to do. So it was just so many things happening at the same time. And what I realize now about what I was doing before is that you have 10 issues and you're trying to handle all of them at once. Nowadays, you have 20 issues, you handle 1, 2, 3 until they're done.
Yeah.
Not holistically, because that's how you end up losing your mind. So 32 was a very, very, very bad personal year for me. And that's why 33, when I turned 33, that's when I did a party, and that's when I resigned from BBC. I felt like it was also time to also try something else. And it was a huge leap because I didn't know what the future held, and I just jumped out of the plane, you know. And so now when the party happened, I remember even when I resigned, so I didn't ask anyone for their opinion before I resigned. I think I was in that stage where I just wanted to do whatever.
Yeah.
So, but immediately after, I remember just waking up at 6 and typing the resignation letter. Then I closed my laptop, and then I went back to sleep. After like 2 hours, I woke up again, and first of all, my boss who I had resigned to said, "Hey, that's not how we do it." So I was like, "Oh, I know my rights." No, nothing. And then I told 3 people. I told my mother, obviously, because like I know she's been there, even despite being a mom, like as a friend as well. The business guy who was at Alternative Agency, the one that gave me all the deals, 1 or 2 contracts with Pernod Ricard, which I'm not supposed to mention because we're in a competing brand. Of course, with the alcohol company. And then I told my girlfriend at the time for emotional support as well. So my girlfriend responded exactly how I hoped as well, very supportive. And then the business guy told me, "Let's go." That's it. That's all he said. "Let's go. We're ready. It's time." Because he had been the biggest campaigner for me to leave BBC, because he felt like it was very limiting. Although they're still a fantastic employer, you know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my ma, she's always been there, you know, just trying to tell me, if anything goes to 0, I got you.
I'll be there.
You know. So that's what happened. And then I turned 33, August 30th. I don't know what happened, but on my birthday, I remember people whispering stuff to me, but there's a lady called Stephanie Ngina who just came and said, "I hope you realize that all these people having fun and all these people who've come, regardless of what it's been, are here because of you." And I don't know what that did, but it brought back so many things that we've tried to do and memories. And I started just crying at the party with the microphone. I was just like, "Hey, just hold this mic for a bit." I went to some place and like really just like let it all out. I was like, "Damn, you know what? I'm really super hard on myself. I need to just let life happen organically." And that's what happened. After that, job offers came, by visa to a different country outside Africa came, to like go live there and work there. My relationship started to show itself in different forms. Things just really just changed. And that's why I wear the pendant, the 33. People ask, "So what happens when you turn 34, 35? I said, "It's not the age, it's what the age meant." You know, so that's exactly what 32, 33 was for me.
So do you have it? Do you have the
pendant? I do. I'm not wearing it now, but I know. I always carry. If we ever meet anywhere else, I'm sure I'll have it.
You'll have it.
Yeah.
So what does it symbolize for you? What would you say that 33 age?
Freedom. Yeah, mental and financial freedom.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can, I see that a lot of the times when someone is going through like hardships or like the struggles, the internal struggles you were going through at that time, it's very easy for you to lash out at the world or to be mean at everyone, but you insist that, you know, stay kind and stay focused on your goals. So despite everything, where were you finding the courage and the strength to, you know, stay focused and remain kind?
There's a place I had written, so I have my tweet pinned. It says, "Stay grounded, remember a ladder goes both ways, up and down." And coincidentally, I kept seeing it, even on social media, where it kept saying, everything is temporary, everything is temporary, everything, even life itself is temporary. So I felt like whatever failure, whatever, and even based off of the stuff that happened 10 years ago, I couldn't really just end every thought of, any possibilities or whatever based off of what I felt, because I felt like I could come out of this. If I came out of Matumbo and whatever in a different country, then this is something that will definitely pass. I think the anxiety and the mental stress, even like mini depression, was coming from the fact that I had never gone through that level of, like down before. So I didn't know how exactly to pull out of it. Mm-hmm. And it took so many friends and so many, things and so many trips, so many hours being off phone to really just find yourself and recalibrate. So it's basically, I think, purposely just noticing that it's no one's fault. Most of the things are in your head, and they need you to just map them out and then start working on them one by one. I think that was the biggest lesson around that time when I wasn't okay. Not to say that I'm 100% now, but I know how better to handle it than when I was younger. Yeah.
If you could sum up your life, like one huge life lesson throughout your 34 years, what would it be?
It's exactly what I've tweeted on my pinned tweet, is that a ladder goes up and down. What you do when you're up will influence what you do when you're down. What you do when you're down will influence what you do when you're up.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anything that you're working on right now that is giving you so much life?
Yeah, everything. So I'm hoping to build a house, and we're now in the process of like identifying where the house could be. Do you want to spend so much time and money building a house when you could have an apartment? Those are the kind of conversations we're having now.
Yeah.
Hoping to go see my family outside the country in Sweden, end of the month, so end of the year. So that's keeping me super alive. And some super interesting projects with Georgie hosts the moderation part, where we're hoping maybe I'll be on some nice global stages in 2023. So those are really keeping me very focused.
I love it. I love that for you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
With all of it.
I really appreciate it. And you too, I see you very much and what you're doing. So I really wish you the very best.
Thank you as well. Now, you ended your letter with you giving up on paragliding and going skydiving. Why? I'm like the one adventure-filled human being you'll ever meet. If you ever call me tomorrow and you're like, you want to go skydiving? We're going.
I swear, I've tried it. We went to, there's a place in Denmark called Tivoli Gardens where they have some of the craziest roller coasters. It was one of the most fun dates in 2015, 17 at that time. And we got in and I was so happy because the lady really loved roller coasters and she wanted the craziest ones.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, for love, I shall. The roller coaster has periodic pictures that they take. All of the pictures, this was me. All five pictures. I said, this is not for me. I tried it. I'm so scared.
Yeah.
So scared. We were supposed to go paragliding in Kijabe Hill. I've postponed it like 3 times. I keep telling the guy, no, I'm not around. But yeah, I think I'll probably tell you.
Please do. I would love to.
Yeah?
I would love to.
Okay, but not skydiving.
Paragliding looks even easier. Like that one, I don't think I'd even think twice.
You just go with your own. Yeah, I think okay. The day I do it, I don't know. I'll probably even tag you in all the videos. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So now, before you go away, we normally do a time capsule thing where you wrote a letter to your past self.
Yeah.
So now I'd like you to leave a message to 44-year-old Georgie.
44.
Yeah. So it's just something small, short, and cute to this camera right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, dear 44-year-old Georgie, I've done the work. I'm now 34. I've done the work. I continue to do the work. I'm expecting a lot of returns on the kind of businesses we've set up over the last 2-3 years. Some heavy investments have been made. They better have paid out by now. You better have a farmhouse that has a beach and a top 1, 2 floors with a basement, but a patio on top that you can put your seats. You better be looking at 2 kids running around, chasing the dogs around. Your car, I'm sure, is going to be a good one. Your partner, I'm sure you'll get someone as kiddish as you, but as focused as you. And I really, really hope that you still stayed fit and healthy and took care of yourself, and Ma, and Lenny, and Mimo, and Dad. Yeah. I love you very much. And I really, really, really wish you the very best.
Do you know more guys than women have ended their letter with "I love you"?
Yeah. Also nowadays, even with all the friends that we're around, that you know, a lot of them, we always say, "I love you, man."
And I hear it, and it is the sweetest thing ever.
And it feels so nice now. Like it's not like someone is like holding a gun to your back, like, say I love you. Say I love you.
You just want them to know I love you.
I love you. I say, no, I love you more. Yeah.
I love it. And I usually also say that I feel like this time capsule things are sort of manifestations. So I can't wait to see the first one. I think our first episode was with Wandia, so it will be the first, like in 10 years. I can't wait to like go back and see and ask her. So did this thing actually come to pass? So yeah, but other than that, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it very much. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.